Alrighty then, welcome back to another J&J Monday on a Sunday. I'm J77, Josh again with a penguin hat on. Say hello.
Yo!
And we got a few topics to talk about. One I had meant to talk about for a while, and also some announcements about the show being in hiatus for a brief moment. The show will not be, there will be no shows in August. That's actually planned because we're going to go on a little mini vacation. I got things to do, of course. Josh has a lot of things to do. And we'll be back pretty much in the beginning of September. So we still have some episodes to pull out, depending on the schedule and what we're doing in our crazy lives. But we are going to bring up some very strong topics that need to be talked about, especially with the way the internet has been working lately. How people use the internet, not just with YouTube, Twitter's being one of them, Facebook being one of them, and a lot of it has to do with entertainment. And if you go back within the last, not even 1 year, but the last 10 years, basically how the internet has become, it has its benefits. We use it to blog, we use it for entertainment. We've seen new stretch of entertainment that was never done before, probably would never have been done, had it not been for the revolution of video slash social networking. However, with that positive, there's always negative, particularly within the phantom community. Let's be realistic. We are very, very connected with our movies that we love, books, whether it's book forms, film forms, to the point where if one stretch of criticism comes out, whether it's just or not, we tend to vent out in such a way that it no longer becomes fun, but it becomes very dangerous and bullyism. I am referring to fanboys and fangirls who often doesn't know how to keep their restraints. And there's a lot to be said about that. There's a lot that happens with that. Mostly people who are just have nothing better to do, and because they're on a computer like I am, and has no face, like pretty much using an anonymous name, they can vent out without any worry about repercussion. This is not always true, as we have seen.
Well, I just want to say that the whole thing with, it's the internet, so it's not, like, really real is just total bullshit, because it's like there is another person on the other side of that screen. You're not just... You might not have someone be able to say, oh, that's so-and-so from such and such, but, you actually can still harm a person.
That point is, and I already talked about what happened with the Dark Knight Rises, and how Rotten Tomatoes and other review sites had to ban the comment section for almost 4 straight days because people went nuts about a bad review. And it's one thing to disagree with a review. We get people who disagree with our reviews all the time. It's part of the business. It's
If you can't handle criticism, you should not be blogging at all.
Exactly. It is what it is. People are going to respect your opinion. People's going to hate your opinions. That's just how it is. You know what you get into. But when opinions becomes threats, it's no longer opinion. You're making a threat. You're basically telling people they should kill themselves and do horrible things to each other. That's a whole different level. It doesn't become fun. It doesn't become opinionated. It's a form of bullying that should not be accepted within any kind of social networking. I don't care if you're a fan of the movie or not. I like certain movies, but hey, there's gonna be people who doesn't like certain movies, and they're gonna say why they don't like certain movies.
Wait, you're the guy who likes Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, right?
Oh yes, and I know there's a lot of people who don't, and I know other people who don't like it. But you know what? I'm not gonna go nuts about it. I'm not gonna go crazy about it, and I'm not gonna go jump off to a rant towards to the point where it's it becomes bullying and even more threatening. I don't care what's the reason for it. There's no excuse for you to tell a person they should go shoot themselves, they should go hang themselves, and that's the thing. It is.
Movie, not having the same opinions on a movie or a book as you.
Yeah, and And it goes to show it's not even just that situation. We had a few years ago when the Hunger Games movie was announced and the cast was announced. You had the youngest one. When it was revealed she was African American, people lost their
Oh,
mind to the point.
fuck. Oh, you're talking about, oh, Rune's black in the movie and she wasn't black in the book. And it's just like, Rue is black in the book too.
It's idiocy. It's very disgusting, and it brings out the worst of people, and that's the problem I have. And we had the situation again with the Fantastic Four. Look, I'm not a big fan of the movie adaptation. I like the comic books, like the cartoon version. This is a new situation. I find it interesting. Um, whether I agree with the race change, I can live with it. I've seen different adaptations before, so I'm fine with it. There are a lot of people who voiced their opinion, and I give the credit to the actor. He said, "Hey, look, it goes with it. It did bother me a little bit, but now I just learned to brush it off and just do it and just go out with business, and that's fine." But the point is, there's too many fanboys and
Oh
girls
God,
who
since I'm probably a little more familiar with the social justice warrior crowd on Tumblr, I'm pretty sure if you went on Tumblr and they'd be, if you didn't like the race bending with the fire person flaming torch being black, they would call you racist. It's like you have to agree with this because or else you're a racist. And I mean, this isn't just about the race. Like, you could not like the black actor himself, and just like, I don't like this actor, I don't like his previous works, and they'd be calling you racist because, oh my God, you're anti-black, even though it's just you don't like the actor.
well, like I said, I don't touch Tumblr too much, but
I
I
know
do.
you're safe. You live a better, fuller life, but like a topic like this, it's like you need to go spend a little bit on Tumblr just to get in.
I was accused of being anti-Christian because I didn't like Tyler Perry movies, which is not true considering one of his movies I actually enjoyed. Named Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I thought that was a good movie. Why Did I Get Married? I thought that was a good movie. But I'm not a big thrill. I'm not gonna just praise him every time I get. There are movies that I didn't like, and for people who said his movies are great, he didn't do too well with the First Wives stuff. I forgot what name of it. It was such a forgettable film that it didn't even do well in theaters. So there you go. Um, I, I, to go back to the whole thing is that social media has have shown some good, but also shown some bad. And now there are people. I don't even think that the social media society should know this. Are trying to pass laws limiting this kind of behavior. There are actually been laws put on the pipeline. And forget about SOPA for a minute. This has nothing to do with SOPA or people or Piper, whatever you want to call those laws these days. There are people who are trying to use social media, and it has happened in various examples as a form to incriminate those who does this type of behavior. And I'm not exactly for that type of policing because it can go too far. But I think that fanboys and girls need to understand that hey, nobody's saying you shouldn't love your movie. You love your film, that's fine. I'm not going to go crazy about that. But don't go berserk and don't go on to a fit of rage to the point where you're saying threatening and even suicide suggestive thoughts towards another person, all because you didn't like that one person's opinion. If you don't like that one person, then fine, but don't go overboard to the point where you're now putting yourself in pretty much putting yourself into legal situations, which has happened in various states. Josh, what's your feeling on this topic? I know you got a lot to say. I know you even had some of the trolls slash fanboy haters in your neck of the woods because you are a huge blogger that has multiple blogs, and
Just
I
like
know that there are people out there who has
a little.
said some stuff, horrible stuff towards you.
Okay, can you repeat the question? I know that you were talking about something about laws limiting some bad behavior of.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I was like zoning out here. Fuck it. That's normal for me. But just there has been some really shitty, just insane. So a year or so ago, I I saw. Okay, I'll talk about two instances. The first instance I'm going to talk about is why on Tumblr I don't like to say I'm anti-social justice warrior or social justice warrior. So I saw Wreck-It Ralph, and I came back home, and on Tumblr, I made a short little blog post, sort of a first thoughts thing about the king of Candyland or whatever, and saying about how he seemed really gay and had a lot of gay stereotypes, and I thought that, that meant, he was gay because I was looking through the lens of stereotypes to try to figure out a character. I wasn't aware of how everyone in the cast felt. I, wasn't aware that the character was some memorial to this one other guy. And so I just typed that up, I posted, and I was just like, it's totally harmless. I was like, I think I even mentioned I haven't looked stuff up yet. And so some anti-social justice warriors started harassing the post, saying, oh my god, look at the little social justice warrior. And then, after I had a post, saying, okay, if you want to disagree with me, do something more than a little quip so I can actually reply to you. And then social justice warriors were like, oh my god, you're being homophobic because you're saying gay stereotypes are true. Because they were confusing me talking about viewing a character through the lens of, stereotypes as me thinking, oh, this is how things work in the real world.
Now, how long did this last?
I had made the post the night before, and when I got back on the next day, I believe that's when I saw the replies from, I got sent asks on Tumblr, and that lasted maybe 30 minutes, an hour. It just, mind you, it wasn't constant. It was replying and then waiting for a reply. So it wasn't constant.
Well, that's kind of amazing because that's happened somewhat similar to my thoughts on Mel Gibson directing a Jewish movie. I believe it was Maccabee, which is still posted on my this site. And the reply, I didn't reply. It was two people going back and forth, and it was like, this is an entertainment channel. Why are they having this conversation in here? And it was such filled with hateful political things.
Well, as long as it's not directed at me, it's just like, you do what you want.
But here's the thing, though. It was so bad that I said, you know what? This is why I need a second channel. This is why, because some political things are so sensitive, and this was not meant to be sensitive. It was meant to say, hey, look, I don't think Mel Gibson should be directing a movie based on a Jewish hero because of his past. It's pretty much, it's like Warner Brothers was asking him to commit suicide by doing that, the way he did it. And I'm not taking any point away from it. He didn't. It's not going to happen because the script has not been made. But the point is, it brought a lot of sensitive, heated areas to the point where the people wasn't being nice about it at all. One was going after the other one. One was going after this one. I had to literally click on their channel to see what type of videos they have, and what I found was even more disturbing than the conversation itself. Trust me, you don't want to know the channel they had.
I want to know.
One was anti-Semitic, another one was overly preachy. It was all over the place. But in any cases, it was to the point where they was really it stopped becoming a debate and became a hate bash, and it lasted almost 2 years. It lasted. Yeah, it lasted 2 years, and because of that, I said, you know what, it's time for a second channel. And I do put all my political things there. And so whatever happens there, it happens there. But it did taught me a lesson. I did study that, and with my harassment over my thoughts of Steven Spielberg shouldn't direct another Jurassic Park film, for a reason is I don't think he was interested in. I never said they should be a Jurassic Park, only if it's done right. I don't know. You've seen the movie, so you only will
Oh,
tell me.
I've seen it twice. I've seen it, not saw it. I've seen it twice, once in 2D and once in 3D, and it is awesome.
So, there are people who are satisfied by it. But when I heard the announcement that they actually was going to go forward and Steven Spielberg could possibly direct it, I was like, no, he shouldn't direct it because one, his heart is not into it. Just like his heart really wasn't into the fourth Indiana Jones movie. You can tell that he was not really into it. He was just following the motion because people kept saying, "Do Indiana Jones 4, do Indiana Jones 4, do Indiana Jones 4." Where he did it, people was not happy about it. But then again, you can easily tell that he was just going through the motions, and that was more of a George Lucas film than Steven Spielberg. I did not get good reception from a couple of guys. One particularly, went nuts. He called me the N word. He basically said
Oh
all
my
that.
god!
He went ballistic. I
I,
ended up having to respond back.
I'm white, so I am. So if I need to be beaten to death, I'd fine. But it's like I would only call one of my black friends the N word if I really knew them and I asked them over and over again if it's okay. I wouldn't go like out of the blue and say the N word.
Well, this guy
And
said it.
definitely not online publicly.
Well, he did it, and I'm like, why is this man so upset? And I checked his channel, and I saw it's filled with Jurassic Park stuff, commercials, toys, for toys, clips from the movie. I'm like, yes, this guy's a fan, and I insulted his fandom. So, and I remember this day we had a whole conversation just on that subject alone for a good 20 minutes. We ended up being friends after that.
I,
It was
it's
it's
strange
a
for me that
when
sometimes
we
like people I argue with, suddenly I'm good friends with them like 3 months later.
because I knew it was not. It was more of him feeling that I was insulting what he loved. It was not insulting what he loved. I made it a point to bring in an opinion and saying, "Hey, listen, you know, I'm not against you. You want to make the film, fine, but you got to come to the reality that, hey, Steven Spielberg may not want to do this film." And he said, "Oh no, you don't understand. It's a great film. It's a classic." I said, "Listen, I'm not mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all." And after a while, I said, "Well, tell me something." And I asked him just one question. This is how you beat the trolls in the fandom. Ask me this question: how do you vision this film to be? And he was talking about this, and they said, should they go this direction or should they reboot it? And he started getting into it, and we started having a conversation because he had interesting views on how to do the movies. The next thing you know, we're talking and we say how everything's going. And no less than 1 week after he posted those hateful things, they was all deleted from my channel, from my chat room. He deleted it. I didn't ask him to delete it. I don't never ask anybody who makes any comments to delete their comments. Hey, it's there. This is your feeling. Fine, go ahead. But it did taught me something about how dangerous, because we have heard stories of how people go overboard to the point where they are making very dangerous threats, where they are actually telling people they should kill themselves. Keep in mind, the stuff you're defending are entertainment stuff. They're movies, they're TV shows, they're game shows, they're whatever it is not worth going on a hellacious, murderous vent to the point where you're now making threats, endangering your freedom, by the way, and saying something that you don't know what that person on the other side of the computer is going with. He may go through a lot of depression, and he may actually take you up on your word, just like we have seen in countless stories that we've seen in the news and in social media.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say
Yeah,
before?
I was waiting to tell the second story of harassment.
Well, go ahead and say it. 'Cause
Okay, I was just waiting for you because your story was you're the host. I bow before
no, go say it. I already said. I'm always done what I gotta say. I like to see what else is up. You said you had two instances. The one that
well,
we just
two
talked
big
about.
instances. I just don't really get feedback a majority of the time. So luckily I don't have that much harassment, but sometimes when I do have stories to tell, I have stories to tell. And so for one of my side blogs on Tumblr, I posted a little post about the Hork-Bajir, which are species in the Animorphs universe who don't have the highest intelligence. So I use the word retarded, because that's really how their intelligence is like. They can't, you draw a picture of them, and they won't be able to connect themselves to that picture. And you try to tell them, hey, this is you, and they're like, I'm right here. What the hell are you talking about? So I use the word retarded. And so then I made the post, and I'm just going along my dash, just seeing new posts, and someone's like, oh my god, someone was totally ableist in the Animorphs tag, and I'm like, I have a strange feeling that might refer to me, so I'm going to, double check. Because the Animorphs fandom on Tumblr, very social justice warrior heavy, which is sort of why one of the reasons I stopped going on the tag. 9 out of 10 times it's okay, but still it's like I'll go on every now and again for quotes and headcanons and fun stuff, but I tend to sort of stay away. That I'm sort of lazy. And so I go to the tag, and I start getting messages like replies about, oh my god, you're ableist and blah blah blah, and that and the person who posted, that little bitch was staying behind, not actually talking to me. I doubt she even knew I actually called her Tumblr, so she didn't know. So basically, she's the little cunt stands in this, in the back and waits till the harassment becomes so great, and I'm starting to, reply because I like to be polite and, try to calm situations down and give my viewpoint. And so only when it's reached a certain level does she actually start, actually, I can't remember if she actually replied to me or not. She might have. I can't remember, but I know that at the end when I finally made the change, I'm like, hey, okay, fine. Since it was one little word, and plus I was just like, I can't fucking remember how long this shit lasted, but I'm like, fucking fine, I changed it, are you happy now? And so this little bitch who really fucking did nothing, didn't fucking really communicate with me, and if she did, she only did it when the harassment became really high. And she's like, we won a battle! And I'm like, one, you didn't win jack shit. Two, you weren't a real fighter in it anyway. What the fuck are you going on about? It's just like, we won a battle, and just like...
All from one word.
Yeah, and plus, that's the fucking only thing people commented on. They didn't talk about the other, things in the post I talked about. It was just about that one word, and that's one thing I really hate about... You become so social justice warrior that you just go after one word and don't focus on any context or talk about anything else. And when I made my apology, one person might have liked it, and that was it. There was no thank you for changing it. It was just like... So at that point, I was like, fuck it. Fuck you. And with the Wreck-It Ralph incident, I was like, fuck you, anti-social justice warrior. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to try to be any of your friends because obviously you're not trying to be my friend, so fuck you.
This sounds like Media Slayer for some reason. Why am you reminding me of Media Slayer?
I'm a horrible, horrible person. That's why.
Right, but yeah, the whole story just remind me of Media Slayer, and I hate to bring up those guys a lot because that's all they do is basically draw and rant. And I remember going to their website for the first time. They got me on that list. I find it hilarious considering that they have never checked my work, but they seem to got my picture on there. That's yours too, by the way.
I've actually read some of my troll articles, and I actually just, that gets me in such a rage for some reason. But I actually have some admiration too, because it's like this is sort of the trolling I'd like. If you're going to troll me, don't just say, "Oh, go kill yourself." It's like spend some time and effort.
Well, they definitely did. I think they stopped operations after Net Dweller, but it go back to on track at the point. That's the point I'm trying to get here is that there is a little bit too much of it. And look, again, be a fan. I'm not knocking your love for a particular genre of movie or music or whatever. But show a little restraint. Don't go so crazy because I guarantee this. It's gonna end up just like what this guy have done. I never forget this. This was, I think, was an athlete, I believe. Somebody will correct me on this. I know. Um,
This is the internet.
yeah. So, someone trolled this guy. Basically, said some mean, horrible things. And this guy did something I never thought was possible. He said, "All right, well, I'm gonna come to your house, and you can say that all to my face." And you thinking that the social network can't find a way to get back at you? They got back at him. He literally came close to his house, and the me and social network saying, yeah, he lives here, he lives over here, he almost there. He literally, after a while, all that talking, all that trash talking, all that saying, kill yourself, this and that, he went back on Twitter and apologized and said, I was sorry, everything else. Because he realized that when they started doing the address, it was the fact, the street where he actually lived in. And that's the thing I'm very, and look, when it comes to these computers, I don't know what you're opening. Oh, you got a big pack of cookies. Um, when it comes to the internet, yeah, we show a great macho-ness. We are very brave and very bold when we're behind a screen and the person may be light years away from each other where we're out of harm's reach. It's a whole different story when you're facing that person face to face. And I remember Spill.com actually have talked about one particular guy who just been ranting and raving and talking all sorts of trash, but they knew who the guy was, and when they saw him, all that stuff he was talking wasn't there. He didn't say anything. He was actually been very polite. So it's kind of ironic how the computer gave a lot of people a false sense of security. There are some guys who are just complete idiots and don't care who they hurt because to them, I'm saying this is their form of entertainment. I feel shame on you if that's the case. But be advised about this. Keep in mind, and all you need to do is look up the laws they're trying to pass in your state and in the country. They're all looking to try and restrict it. And whether
Uh,
you like it, when
Self
you like it or not,
harassment,
yeah,
like
when you like it or not,
telling yourself, death threats, they are serious, but because at least right now, there's really no way to turn towards legal action because I believe like I'm in the United States, but then the person who's harassing me might be in England,
uh,
so it's,
but
it's
but like I
difficult.
said, they are trying to find ways to curb it, and it means restricting certain freedoms that we have. And trust me, when it comes to the internet, when it comes to online, it is the wild, wild west. A lot of crazy things has been happening because there isn't no regulations. They are way behind in regulation the internet, but they are about to. They are going to, and they have already have prosecuted a lot of people whose incidents, including death, have led to someone being prosecuted by law. These are not just children, by the way. These are grown adults who are actually been, probably been seeking very hard by the prosecutor. Because of their crazy actions that's happened. The Dark Knight Rises is a perfect example of fandom going crazy. The movie, nobody seen that movie. Nobody have heard that movie. It was the only reviewers who have saw the film, and because of one, not they didn't forget about the other reviews that was happening, which was positive. One, just one, and they went nuts to the point where these sites said, you know what, erase all the, delete it, restrict it. We're not going to deal with this. Wait till the movie comes out, and you got to be careful because if you think they're not watching, if you think the feds are not watching, you think Washington's not watching, you're dead wrong. They're trying to find ways to curb this, and we talk about trying not to restrict, regulate the internet. If this continues, no matter what country they come to, eventually they're going to do that. Not because of big business, but because there's too many people out there who are being idiots and abusing a system that otherwise could be beneficial for a lot of people. Move on, probably. Nothing. You're just gonna eat that chip.
Sorry, it's a Velveeta thing. And just I start getting hungry a little after 5, so
Should do what I did. Ate Chinese food.
then I get hungry 5 minutes after.
Got any closing statements before we move on?
Okay. Do you have any closing statements? This sounds so professional now. I'm just. You can like a thing. You cannot like a thing. Just don't go. I just hate when certain things like are turned into, oh, this is totally a feminist issue. This is totally a racism issue. And it's just like, no, it isn't. Sometimes people just don't like something for one reason or another. And if you're going to comment on something that someone has spent some time doing, don't just go, oh, I'm going to complain about your one word choice. I mean, I don't go around correcting everyone's misuse of the comma. That can be hard, but I control myself. You can control yourself from saying, I don't like this one word, but I'm not going to comment.
Well, like I said, it is, be a fan, but don't be that obsessed with a movie. Keep in mind, that
It's
movie ain't paying your
fun.
bills. It's entertainment, nothing more, nothing less. um, let's get to the next topic here. Have you seen the latest trailer for the Batman, Superman, and Suicide Squad?
No.
Oh, really? You kept yourself out of the dark.
No, well, I just, since we talked about fanboys being good and restrained, I'm going to say this with no fear. I don't really care.
Amazingly, that's the same feeling that you're getting with a lot of people. I have seen both trailers. I will admit the Batman Superman trailer is way better than the teaser trailer they showed earlier. It actually gives you an explanation as to why Bruce Wayne all of a sudden want to face Batman. I mean, Bruce Wayne want to face he's Batman. What I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Batman, it has to happen. Come on. Why,
Su-
why
Superman.
does the sun rise in the east and set in the west? Because that is how life goes.
Well, Batman and Superman, the footage that they showed was very good, but you now get the feeling why Batman has a bitterness for Superman, and and it has been confirmed that this takes place. He's actually was retired. Let's call it like it is. We're seeing an older Bruce Wayne. He was retired. Then this whole incident happened with Man of Steel, and that pretty much led him to come back a little bit, come return to his roots. And I will say this: the trailer was good. I don't know what to make of Lex Luthor's character. He looks like a guy who got stuck in the '70s and didn't and didn't got out of there. He has very long hair, but then again, I'm used to Lex Luthor having hair, so it's just I don't know. I gotta wait. I gotta see what they're gonna do with that. Um, I like where it's going. And I'm gonna say like this: I was not a hater of the Man of Steel. I thought the Man of Steel was better than I actually anticipated. I understand the feedback, but I'm like this. People complained about Superman Returns not having enough action. This one has enough action, but they say it's too grim. You're not gonna win everybody
That's why
over.
I hate about trying to please people, because it's like you should do your own thing. You should please yourself. You should please, and then you should take criticism to figure out how to improve yourself. But you shouldn't. But some people just don't seem to know what the fuck they want.
Well,
Okay, we need new action.
well, Zack Snyder did came out finally, and I wanted to hear what he had to say because he took a lot of heat for the Man of Steel, even though it was considered a commercial success. And he said, "Hey, listen, he wasn't Superman yet. Okay, that's why it was really called the Man of Steel because he wasn't Superman. I mean, he wasn't that person that we're going so used to. And you've seen it. He was inexperienced, and that inexperience led to a lot of devastation. And we're seeing the aftermath of that. We're seeing the consequences of that with the trailer leading to Superman versus Batman. And I gotta say, it's a smart move. If he would have just left it at that, and then years go by, and everybody loves him, I wouldn't have buy that much. But he's actually connecting the Superman story with the Batman suit with this movie, and you can actually see it how it's all linked together. And to me, that's a smart move. But and I gotta say this is that I'm still worried about this being more about because this is a sequel to Superman. This is a sequel to Man of Steel. I am worried that Batman is going to over dominate this movie, and I don't want that to happen.
It's
I've seen the Iron and the Tiger question, yes.
I could totally go off on a 5 minute tangent.
Yes, I can tell. But what's your feeling on this? I know you don't care. I don't think this is your genre anyway, but I am curious.
Um, I love the Batman. Fuck. I like the Christopher Nolan Batman films. Some of the older Batman films are good. I haven't really seen them as much, and I'm not as well versed in them. But yeah, if it's Batman versus Superman, I would want sort of equal parts. And plus, I think they're throwing in Wonder Woman too. So you have the nice big, trinity there, and it's just like that's one of the problems with having too many people to focus on, especially when you're being introduced to two for the first time. The Avengers movies can sort of get away with that because they have other films outside the Avengers films where you get introduced to the characters. So with two new characters being introduced, now we're going to have to get what are you doing here? Sort of origin, two people's origins there.
Well, from the bit scenes I've seen with Wonder Woman, she does seem to have a role. What type of role is I don't know because it's not like you're seeing her interact with Bruce Wayne or well, I guess she is some ways. I just don't. I honestly don't know how they're gonna do it. I know she's due to have a movie in a few years. That's fine. I don't know. I gotta see how they do it. Because one thing I hate because she was a big part of the big three. I don't like when an important character was reduced to a cameo, and I'm hoping that's not the case. I do hope that she plays an important part in this movie. Maybe next to Alpha, which, by the way, I actually think Jeremy Irons fit the role perfectly as an older yet more rugged Alfred. I actually liked some of the scenes that he had.
It's going to
What
be odd seeing Alfred not being played by Michael Caine because now he's one of the guys where I saw him in Interstellar. I was like, oh, there's Alfred.
But honestly, over the years, the actors who they had good actors playing him. I mean, it wasn't. I had never like the Batman TV series. I liked it, Alfred. I think he had more action scenes than the whole Alfred combined. Um, I liked that the Michael Keaton slash Jerry Schumacher Alfred. He actually was the only link towards the Tim Burton Jerry Schumacher saga. I can't. What can I say about Sir Kane? He's the man. There's nothing else I can tell you. I don't even. There's nothing to discuss about that. So Jeremy Irons, I think he's going to do just fine. And from scenes I see from him, are all good. I think the thing about it is that I just don't. I'm just concerned more so about this being the Batman show and rather being a Superman film because again, this is not a Batman's movie. This is a Superman movie.
Yeah, it's a
That
sequel to a Superman film. It's like if one of the three is going to take center stage, it better fucking be Superman. Just from you know literature standpoint, that's how things should work.
yeah, so I'm really, I'm more positive with the second trailer now than I was with the first trailer. My only hope is don't give me two more trailers. If you want to make one more,
Why
fine.
not a Terminator Genesis like trailer?
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need spoilers. All right, because that's the thing that that trailer. But nevertheless, that was the biggest thing. I like to know what everybody else think about it because it has been from what I understand with the cons that they showed it, it looked like it was very positive, and it is a well put together trailer. There are some things I have a problem with. Luther, I honestly didn't even recognize. I took me a while to realize that who that person was. I said, that's Lex. Really? Well, he's about to sing a '70s song from the KC Sunshine Band, but I'm willing to see what he does. So maybe this will be a different take. I do know one thing though, and this is kind of funny. Nobody's talking about this trailer more so than the person who's playing the character, the Suicide Squad, and everybody, including Angry Joe. I'm like wondering, so Angry Joe talk about the movie. I know he talked about the movie, but the focus is on the Joker. Oh my God, the focus on the Joker.
I
Um,
say, like, I've been doing another sort of YouTube binge, and this time I've turned my attention to this shoddy cast who's doing sort of a Fallout lore. And I was just one day, I was like, I've been basically doing that for the past few days. And I think Angry Joe did release a video about once I'm in binge mode, it's like nothing else exists.
mhm. Well, it seemed like this whole entire trailer exists for one thing: the impression of how the Joker has been done. I'm gonna tell you right now. I looked at it and said, no makeup. He looks freakish as hell, but he don't have no makeup. He said he has green hair, but no makeup. Um, I can accept this Joker. I don't know how the others will accept that. I know a lot of people saying he's not based on the comic book. Neither was Heath Ledger, and we all know how that ended up to be. He bring up a great class performance that I think that nobody can be matched. It is the first Joker we've seen since Heath Ledger. Rest in peace. Um, I'll put it this way. I'm gonna put the Joker aside for a minute. What I thought about the trailer, I thought that was all okay. I really am more interested. And by the way, you said that Will Smith quit the role. Was it you or someone else?
It was probably
Because he's
someone
in
else.
that
I
movie.
think I probably heard that, but I not,
He's
probably.
in the movie. So I'm like, wait a minute, he's there. he, he must have not quit after all. He looks interesting. I think I'm assuming he broke his record of not playing bad guys in the movie. But then again, you don't get this bad guy feel at all. You get a bunch of bad guys trying to redeem themselves in order to to help their own interests. I am interested in Harley Quinzel. I am very interested because it does look like, I don't know if she was a doctor, a medical. It doesn't really say what her origin really is in this universe, but it does have a dark image, and it does look like they have her sinister, crazy side pretty much in order. Other than that, what's the plot in this movie? I don't really know. What's the purpose of this? How would this tie in to the whole entire DC universe? Because somehow they're gonna tie something in. The Justice League is still brewing. I don't know how this is gonna tie in now into this. Now, granted, we already know um, that there's a possibility that Batman will have his own movie after this series. There's definitely you can't have a DC universe without having Batman reintroduced into his own movies at one point. I just have a problem because Suicide Squad had went through many different versions. This is a whole different Suicide Squad, filled with villains, filled with a character who's run by this woman who I think, in all honesty, is a villain herself. Even Batman don't even trust her. I I just don't know what they're trying to go with this. I really don't. I mean, the trailer's good. I enjoyed it. It got me interested. I actually liked how they got these characters together. I just don't know what's their motive. What's their purpose here? Who they fighting? Who they fighting? I mean, do you have an idea?
I'm not really too well versed in DC comic lore, so I wouldn't really guess.
I know neither is people who went through the Suicide Squad. Suicide wouldn't wait for many changes. It's just the, I guess that's the whole thing. I mean, I know Poison. I know that Poison Ivy's not probably in this one, which is kind of weird because she was one of the people in Suicide. But who knows? Now for the Joker. His one 30 seconds or 29 seconds or 10 seconds of viewing time have caught the attention of a lot of people. They talk about that one piece of trailer more so than the whole entire combined. Um, and for some was always I can understand because he is an iconic character that, let's be honest, not everybody can play. You have to have the right actor who has that right tone. Cesar Romero, great as a Joker. Jack Nicholson, still considered many people's Joker. Heath Ledger, people thought wasn't fit the role. He ended up blowing the role away, to the point where people said there should be nobody else to play the role, which we know that was not going to happen.
Yeah, that's
Um, this one, I would not go. I've seen bad Jokers in mostly animated series. I am very stunned they went with this kind of model. What is he really supposed to be? Obviously, there's no makeup on him, but doesn't mean he's not sinister. He does have the voice. The laugh, I don't know. I think I have to see more of him and what role he's going to play. But he's definitely going to play a role at one point, and I'm wishing the actor lots of luck. He has a lot of things. He has big shoes to fill with the other actors that came before him. But I think depending on where this film, because it's not just the actor, it's depending on what tone this film is taking. It does feel to follow that dark tone that DC seemed to be taking more so with Marvel. DC seemed to be taking that dark green tone. And that's what they're going for. I think the Joker will be fine. I think that if, as long as it stays within that universe. Keep in mind, we have DC movies, they go by different universe, so it doesn't bother me. If they try to be too comedic, then it's going to be kind of hard to take that seriously because you look at the Joker and say, there's nothing funny at all about this guy. I mean, he looks like an actual, no disrespect to the actor, he looks like an actual serial killer. I mean, he really does. I mean, I'm
that's
like,
true.
wow.
The secret serial killer. You heard it here.
He looks, I mean, his eyes look like, oh my God. It looks like there's nothing there. So I think people need to relax a little bit. Keep in mind, Heath Ledger did not get much approval for a lot of people in his performance until they saw the movie and realized that, hey, this guy is right there. I mean, he blew out the water. So maybe will shock everyone. Um, I am concerned about one thing. Okay, you got a movie with all villains. Can it please not be PG-13? Could you just make it the R? I mean, it's not like you're taunting Batman. You're basically having a whole pile of villains. It's kind of hard to have a pile of villains, and it's PG-13ish. I'm just
Well,
saying.
they need more people to view it, so that gives them reason to do PG-13. But it's all, from the things I've heard about these villains, they're not exactly kid friendly, and so the higher rating would help show that. Would help, we're not just saying they're bad. We can show you some disturbing imagery and going, oh yeah, that's that's what they do.
Mhm. Yeah, but here's the thing that does surprise me. I'll technically consider this to be DC's B list of comic book adaptations that they're adapting. I did not expect them to do a Suicide Squad. I really didn't. I didn't think they would actually touch that comic at all. I
What's basically about for me and people who aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, because I'm like I heard of them. I know the changes they went through, but I'm like, we really gonna go to Suicide Squad before we even have a Batman movie? But then again, I still scratch my head at why Marvel, not Marvel, Sony Pictures thought it was a good idea to have Sinister Six film, which surprisingly is still on the IMDb for some reason, even though they reboot the series again. So, but
Oh, Sinister Six was to do with Spider-Man?
yeah, Sinister
Okay.
Six with Spider-Man. You have the six villains teaming up together against Spider-Man.
Okay, and as I said, I'm not really a comic book person, so there are
Yeah,
all
this,
these parts where I know stuff about things I've never read or seen, and then there's this time.
yeah, but we had the Sinister Six, and their idea was to make a Sinister Six without Spider-Man. That would never work. And no, you need Spider-Man. The reason why you made the Sinister Six was to beat Spider-Man as a collective, not not be born and then not have it. So I mean, I'm a little shocked. I'm actually glad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that DC's doing it. It does show that they actually say, okay, we got some guts. We have faith in our other materials because they are looking at to bringing back some stuff that people thought was second rate, which I don't agree with. I like the Swamp Thing, so that's just me. I like Swamp Thing. I seen the first movie, and other adaptations. So it's good that they are exploring their library instead of sticking with just two main characters. All right, this has been their Achilles heel. They don't expand, or when they do expand, don't work out. They go back into a little corner and go to a safety net, which is Batman and Superman. Move beyond that. Give us different stories. Give us an expanded universe.
Well,
hmm Do look what Marvel have done and take risk, and don't be afraid if one or maybe even two of them doesn't pan out well as you thought. So to me, as long as they keep doing that, I won't have any beef. My main problem is they got to move forward. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go beyond your usual two. And they have done that in many ways with the TV series because I think the Flash, the Arrow, and even Gotham has done very, very well and show that yeah, there is an audience out there. Just expand it. So I'll let it feed for you. What are you feeling about that?
um, about the Sinister Six or the Suicide Squad,
Just
or
in general, just in the business industry in general.
I don't know. You're right, though. I don't not really familiar with much of DC, and I always recognize, Batman or Superman, and that does seem to tend to be what they put forth. And so, having things branch out is really good for people like me who view the comic book universe through movies. So I can actually become a little bit familiar with it and actually fall in love with characters, maybe even check out some comics that they're involved in. And it's just like it's a comic book universe, so I of course know there is a hell of a lot more than Batman or Superman, and that there is a hell of a lot of material to work with. I mean, Marvel has like Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't actually supposed to do that well because no, it's not really a popular part of the Marvel universe, I guess. And that movie came out, and there was a fucking there was a lot of fucking people wanting to see that, and it
It
was
was a
good.
it was a huge surprise hit, and everybody got it. Every critic got it wrong. I wish it was had made me happy because the critics was like, "Oh, this film's gonna fail. How could they do that?" And again, it shows how Marvel is saying, "Hey, look, we got these comic books here. It may not be popular, but they're there. We can actually explore. We actually bring a universe. We do have a studio for a reason. Let's bring out these characters. Let's not be stuck on just a few characters." And I'm gonna tell you this: not having Spider-Man for a long time in their collective, or the X-Men, or the major things, actually worked in their favor because it did force them to be creative. It did force them to explore and tell interesting stories to bring out what we now know as the cinematic universe. And sometimes, when just like what Warner Brothers did with Batman. I loved the first Batman movie. Second one, it wasn't that great, but it wasn't terrible. But after a while, they got stuck. They didn't know how to expand, and to be honest with you, they didn't know how to take it seriously. They didn't know how to give real good stories. It wasn't until Blade, surprisingly, really changed that, as well
Was
as
Blade a comic book before?
yeah, it was based on a comic book, and it was a cheesy comic book at that. And by the way, for the record, Blade was not black when he was in the comic books.
Oh my God, race is a racist.
Oh,
Where the usual when someone race bends someone in movies, and then there's an outpouring of people going, "Oh my God, I hate that they changed his color," and then other people going, "Oh my God, you're racist for not liking this," which can
Well,
sometimes be the case. Sorry, I'm just
no, no,
it's
and I know what you're saying,
a
but
random thing, and so my mind is just has been set going over and over this entire time.
like I said, Blade got it reimagined, and I don't think people even realize it was based on a Marvel comic for a while, and it was not a great character. And then Wesley Snipes made him awesome, and that all you need to know about
I
how
haven't
they went
seen all
forward
the
from there.
Blade movies yet, so I'm going to have to do that.
Yeah, and it just goes as proof that you can make a serious and fun adaptation of a comic book. And as long as you have the dedication there, there should be no problem. And look, Suicide Squad again, the trailer, it showed some very interesting characters. I am seriously interested to see how Harley Quinn is, because Harley Quinn was a character that wasn't born in the comic book but was born in the TV series and has really evolved over the years. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works, as well as the Joker, which it seems to be everybody talk more about than the Suicide Squad, which is kind of sad in many ways. But hey, it is what it is. Um, will be out in 2016 alongside with Superman. Um, and I kind of want to see how the war between the two big factions, Marvel, DC, will pan out, because we didn't really have that this year. I don't think DC came out with anything this year. It
Yeah,
was pretty.
I can't remember if it's I hear this was a rumor or if it's true, but the Batman versus this is English words. Batman versus Superman was pushed back because they didn't want to go up against the Avengers. I can't
Yeah,
remember if
probably.
it's true or not.
It probably makes sense. Although I think they did schedule it for 2017. I'm pretty sure. But it wouldn't surprise me if that's the reason. I think that they don't. I don't think they want that kind of connection, because I think the Avengers already had a head start, and here you have a movie that, even though people want to see, is still untested in terms of general audiences, not the fans, general audiences. Because the fans going to see it regardless. It's the
Yeah,
general
if
audiences
you're
that's
a
going to
fan
be
of
concerned.
something, you have to see the next thing. It's one of the downsides of being a fan if there's something crappy that comes out.
So I think they were more concerned about that audience than anything else. So I did saw those trailers. I haven't seen Ant Man yet. I probably will see it next week. I wanted to see Mr. Holmes, which it was a very well done movie. I mean, acting wise, pacing, and storytelling wise, it was well done. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, because I think if you've already seen Sherlock, which, by the way, Josh, I love the show. It is, I think, Benedict Cumberbatch, which is a name I gotta get used to saying more and more.
No, don't
Plays
worry, you can mess up like 98% of it and people will still know who you're talking about.
he is really, really good. But I liked how Ian McKellen had done a great job of playing a frail Sherlock Holmes. It is a very, very good one. I did a review on it just recently, so it's already on post. Um, so I want to see that. I'm gonna start doing a lot of indie films anyway, because there's a couple of indie films that are gonna be. I want to see that's coming out. But I was not disappointed. It was very,
I'm gonna
very good.
have. I just remember I need to. Marty was going to let me view Ex Machina. I was going to watch it. You know, he has a legal copy of the movie, and so he's going to put his camera at the TV so I can finally see it. I'll see it later in higher quality, but just seeing my urge to see that film.
Oh, I hope it's good. No, I really do. All right, we're having a short day today, so we've been doing it for almost an hour and plus change. We're not going to go any further than that. I am going to say this, though, because obviously this is unavoidable, and two people have sent me a link to Lord Cat's podcast. One of them happened to be 7 hours long, and needless to say, it's about that guy with the glasses, now known as Channel Awesome. And listen, I have made it a rule not to get involved in other social sites' business. It's not my concern of what they how they conduct their business, as long as it's not doing anything illegal. But this rant that has happened. I and why it's happened and why people seem to be so obsessed with what goes on with Channel Awesome these days. Um, I will bring it up. I will talk about it. I will do it probably not next week, but I will definitely do it before we go on hiatus, which is probably 2 weeks from now. And the reason is, if I'm going to say something about something, I want to make sure I have all the facts. I don't want to go on here and then I find out everything was just one person opinion. But it is an issue that more than a lot of people have been addressing these days. And it is an issue that that has been. I think something popped up on your screen, Josh.
Yeah, I'm playing around with stuff. Don't
I
mind.
noticed, but it is an issue that does concern Matic expression as well. So that's the only reason why I'm actually bringing this up because, like I said, something like this could easily tear a site apart. Now, I'm not saying that's where Channel Awesome is heading. Yes, they have lost a lot of producers. Yes, the Lupa thing did not end it well. And I have made it very clear that I was not going to talk about that at all because simple fact is what happened between Lupa and Channel Awesome is between Lupa and Channel Awesome and Fearless and Channel Awesome. That has nothing to do with me. I have read her Tumblr. I read what she said. I understand why she made that decision. I understand why she felt she was not happy with the situation, and I understand perfectly well why things have went sour with the other producers. But there has been other issues that's been brought up, and we got Patreon now, Matic Expression, and it is very important that we at least understand the situation of what's going on here at that site, so that way we won't make the same damn mistakes. And there's no knock on Matt Expression. You know, I never talk about Matt Expression negatively because not because we're members, but because James Walls have done a good job of managing that site and making sure that that kind of stuff gets squashed before it happens. He keeps us informed. He keeps us updated. He let us know how the funding is going on, and I think this is something that I think Channel Awesome and I'm keeping it as it is have completely dropped the ball on there. And trust me, I will be talking about that. But I'm also, again, I gotta be very clear. I gotta make sure that if I'm gonna go talk about something, it has to be something that is informative to everyone, as well as making sure that I get both sides of the story. Because I'm only hearing it from one person, guys. And Warcat, and I respect his feedback does have says some things that I did not agree with. One of them happens to be you should go out and kill yourself routine. I hate when they do that. Say voice your opinion. I have no problem with that. But could you please leave that kill yourself kind of thing, or you should burn yourself and something out of it? Voice your opinion. I understand that there are a lot of things that Walker have said. I do agree with. There are some things that needs to be brought up, but do it in a way that it doesn't have to be that condescending. That's all I got to say. But with that, yes, I will talk about what's going on with Channel Awesome and why I feel that it's not just Channel Awesome that needs to change their philosophy in terms of how they do business, but most of these sites, especially when they're relying on fan funding. That's the key word here, fan funding. All right, and we'll get to that in due time. Josh, you got anything you want to say before?
I don't really keep up with Channel Awesome nowadays, so I'm not really sure about the podcast or exactly what's going on, and maybe you can tell me about that once this podcast is ended.
I will, but like I said, it's something I try to avoid. But it's like I don't know who this person is. Keeps sending me that link. I said, "Oh well, here we go. Let me click it on and see what it is." And I saw a Lorecast 7 hour. I think it was put together as one big pocket. You can tell it's been sliced up, but all of it has to do with channels, and it's obvious that he has fallen out of favor with a lot of producers, including Nash, who he actually once worked with at Tuesday Tech Talk, which has been gone. Now I can see why. Um, it sounds like a lot of anger going on to it. It sounds like he's bitter about a lot of stuff that's happened, which in many ways, if you pay attention to what he's saying, you can't really blame. But again, it's hard for me to say, oh, I agree with him totally, because it's only one side, and I need to hear more from the other side if I ever get that. But there are still enough that can say, yeah, we need to discuss this, and we'll probably do it in the mid finale, because it is something that I think everybody needs to really pay attention to, especially if you don't. But let's put it this way: I'm a big fan when fans are being abused. I have, I make no bones about it. I have actually described, undescribed to a lot of the YouTube producers because of that. All right, and because they said something, they was going to do something, and they never did it, and they walked away with thousands of dollars of donation money, only to not only not do what they have to do, but never give an explanation as to what happened. And I don't appreciate that at all. Even if I didn't donate, there were thousands of people who did donate, and they deserve better than what you have done. And I take that very seriously when it comes to that type of integrity. Don't abuse the fans. The fans are the reason why you're making the money you're making. Period. Josh. Oh, Josh, you there?
Yes, I'm there. It's just I don't really have much to say on the issue because I'm not. I don't really know about the issue, so I'm
Well,
just
well,
gonna.
well, I'll leave you a link. I'm gonna leave you a link to the podcast. It is long, but don't listen. I didn't listen to the whole thing in one day. I listened to a
Okay,
piece of it.
just send it to Skype, like
I will.
actually, or Twitter. Twitter would probably be better because I
I'll
didn't
send it to
see.
Skype. I'll send it to Skype because you need to see it. You need to hear it. But most importantly, you need to see what other people are saying as well, because there are other videos out there that bring this up. But Lord Cat has been the one that interests me the most because Lord Cat was a producer on Channel Awesome's site, and the stuff he's saying pretty much is echoing what some of the stuff that Spoonie have said, what some of the other producers have said after leaving the site, and it also brings a pretty much eerie explanation of why former producer Holly Christie have left the site. And she got a lot of hits from a lot of people on Channel Awesome for stuff that I felt didn't even be deserved. But I will talk more about it off the air. But it is something that I'm going to address more so as it's a pretty much warning for those who who is taking this not just for entertainment purposes, for a hobby, but running as a business. And that is be mindful who your fan base are, be appreciative of your fan base are, don't abuse your fan base, but also conduct proper business practices. Don't just rely on one source. And we'll talk about that more as we go on. But now it's time for some promotional time. I'm gonna keep it short and simple, and I'm gonna let you be promotion today. I'm gonna keep it because I got nothing to say. I'm still working on some stuff that everybody already knows about. So go ahead and promote your stuff.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've been listening to you and then checking out page.
Hello.
Hello?
Okay, there your microphone went off.
God damn, fuck you, microphone. Sorry, sorry. But I'm making slow progress on my first ebook of. So I might have a Patreon set up. You can do a Patreon for like like just blog in general, which would be easier. So then, therefore, I could cover the ebooks and videos and podcasts because I like paying like Omar, my co-host, just because he puts up with a lot of my shit. And but I'm trying to restart with Extra Happy. The next Josh Talks will be audition for who's going to be the next co-host. So if you want to, if you're a nice Animorphs fan, you can go to jashikins.blogspot.com, just look up the most recent guests needed page, and you can just see if that's what you want to do because I really want to get this started again. Let's see what else. Tonight, starting with last week, I'm doing a Flight Rising podcast, so that should be starting to film maybe around 1 in the morning. for those of you interested. You know, watching it live, of course, will be recorded on my YouTube channel, Jash Talks, as well as posted on my blog probably Monday or Tuesday. And finally, Flight Rising is going to be having a registration window Monday or Tuesday, so you know, if you do register during that time, just say I referred you. My name's Jashikins on there too. Yeah.
She's very, very busy. And again, we have pretty much 2 episodes left. And then August, we're going to go on a nice little mini vacation. Technically, I would be working during that time, so it's not like I'm going to be on
Neither of us are
actual
going
vacation.
on vacation.
Yeah, so, but this pretty much going to give us a brief. And then after that, September, October, and the last actually, the beginning of the first 3 weeks of November, we'll have the second half of the season, and we'll be back again next year. So we still have some shows, but I'm just letting you know that we do have the season finales. We don't, run all year because, frankly, we need things done. But in any case. But in any case, guys, you guys take care. We will be back next week, and you guys be safe out there. So until next time, J77 saying take care, be safe. Signing off. Josh, say goodbye.
Don't drink and drive. Stay
Later.
be cool.